Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
So you were at the hospital and they had this new opportunity.
And for the graduate study. And so they gave me a leave of absence from the hospital to go to this program. And so I went. Mother went with me. We went out, took a little apartment, and we went to Boulder. That was where we were going to enter the program. And so I stayed a year, but I was supposed to write a thesis. And I was having some difficulty with it. This was before the age of all the technology, you know. And so you had to write all this stuff out and then give it to the professor, and then she had to get the information to you. Well, anyway, so they said, well, you can do this to finish up the work. You can do it by mail, or when you get, when you go home. Then you can go ahead and finish up your writing and then get it back to us. Well, it just didn't work out. So when, of course, I had to go home because of my job. And so I continued working with it, but then the time, began to lapse. So I thought, well, I can't get it finished now. So several years elapsed until I think it was in 1960, about 67 or 68, I think it was. I finally decided then I was going to go back. I couldn't do it like that way. So that I thought, well, I just couldn't go ahead and go back. So that this time I knew that I was going to resign the job and go ahead. Well, in the meantime, and as I say, this is the way the Lord works, you see. In the meantime, our pastor had been to the Middle East. Had taken this trip. He really hadn't been. He went to Israel. He went to Israel. And so when he came back and he was telling us about his trip, he said, they need nurses there, and said they need. They call them. They were short-term people. It wasn't a career, but it was and there was a name. See, some of these things leave me
like interim
the
or something?
terminology.
I don't know. Interim nurse or something like that?
I'm sorry.
Interim? Like
No.
Okay.
It was
A more technical name.
It was sort of like a program that they had with the Foreign Mission Board.
Okay.
They weren't career people. They were. They had a limited time.
A short term.
A short, sort of like it was supposed to be kind of like a 5-year program, and then kind of thing. So, but anyway, the pastor had heard of this. It was the journeyman program is one, but then there was another classification, and so I said, well, yes, I would be interested. And so he gave me a name to call and to believe it. So when I called, they said yes. And they were very interested. And so I told her, I said, well, I'm getting ready to go and finish my graduate work. And I'm going to Colorado to finish my graduate work. She said, well, that'll just be fine. Says, I'll tell you, says, when you go, we'll keep in touch, and we'll get information from you. And says we will have a meeting with you someplace along the line. And she said I think they were going to have a meeting in Denver. And she said, says I'll get in touch with you. And so from that point on, see, after I was in school, they began to interview me and to talk with me, and I began to fill out, I had to write a life history. They don't do that anymore, they don't do the life histories. But it involved about 25 years. And so anyway, so while I was in college, really, when I was in college, I committed my life to serve wherever the Lord wanted me to serve. And it was in the Germantown Baptist Church. They didn't have a church there. There was a mission, and so I began to, minister through that church. And so from then, when I had the opportunity to go, well, then I went. And so then after I got on I remember the director of missions with the Foreign Mission Board